I guess we're going to be trying to do the, first test of Atziri with this build, Freezing Pulse, Crit Freezing Pulse. We see if it's worth anything for 1.4. It's 1.3.1 right now. Um, and give us a try. Our spec is a little different than what I have in the guide. Um, this is the mapping spec. It's not even the Atziri one, so I'm not using any call setup. I'm just going to try to kite everything. That's probably a shit idea. Let's see how it goes. Clear speed will kind of get going as we get charges. Once we get to 7, it's going to probably just start snowballing shit down relatively quickly. I'm not going to clear all trash just for video length's sake. It seems relatively safe. Chance of freeze is high. I'm not taking much, if any, damage. I'm sure Arctic Armor is helping with that greatly. I'm worried more about spikes of damage than anything. But I'm not scared of Val Fallen because as they get closer, my damage goes up to give or take over 100,000 when they're getting shotgunned. I see Reflect. That is very concerning to me for a few reasons. But we seem to have dealt with it fine. It can be scary at times, Reflect. With desync, you might not see where mobs are. It's a build uses Spell Echo, and that, in my opinion, is desync prone in general. Alright, moving on up, moving on up. There's no gem swapping I can think of that I really want to do. The only one I can maybe think of is GMP for something. And like GMP probably for LMP, but even then, I don't think it's necessary. I think you'd be fine still. For Queen, because you can't shotgun as much, you're not going to be in that scenario. When you're just point blank, but... Yep. Double... Oh my god, I'm dying. For double Val, it's pretty standard. Play it safer than sorry. I'm not even using Surgeon Flask, I'm just using 2 Seething Staunchings, because I think it'll be fine with the reactionary, how it works. Elemental Weakness, Val Haste, pretty standard. I'm going to curse and start going hard once it comes up. Damage is a bit awkward because of the power charges. Oof. Oof. Ooh. This is a bit sketchy. I don't want to kill that one. That's the issue right now I'm facing. I don't want to be clipped by that. That's what I did not want to happen. Maybe I can just fucking... There we go. Yeah, it's a bit sketchy. You know, I'd say best case scenario, the thing you should probably do, that I'm going to change next time I do a run, is Saffles. Saffles would be the way to go. I just don't have the Saffles at the moment on. I just want to see what it's like with the mapping build, purely. And it's doable, definitely. I fucked up. I should have lightning worked over the wall, so that was my error there. But in general, it seems relatively safe, even for that fight where I enraged. You pop Val Haste and you can burn things down pretty quickly. The one thing I think is an issue, which I don't know how to really remedy, is when engaging a fight, because you're using void batteries, your initial damage is very, very low if you do not have your power charges up. That's a void battery exclusive problem, and I feel if you're using Doriani's Catalyst or rare wands and or scepters, that'll be less of an issue. If you have dual void batteries, again, it's a both ends of the spectrum thing. When the fight's beginning, unless you're running in there with power charges, you're at a significant disadvantage for that first couple things until you start getting them power charges up. Just because how power charge on crit works is the only way for me to gain power charges. at the moment I'm not using a Vol's Protector or anything like that. It's a, you know, it's a Cloak of Defiance. So this is a sketchy scenario. I probably shouldn't be that close in general. You know, you should never take Val Fallen for granted. They're lethal, as lethal is. And also cursing and or double cursing is not essential, but definitely playing it the safe way. I mean, it makes your damage exponentially higher. Oh, we got a Quartz Blast. Look at that. Rewarded for our hard work. I'm a little concerned about the trio fight because it's really going to be all down to moving. We're not going to be going with an infinite setup because we don't have access to the endurance charges. We're not near them. We're going to come in hot right now against my better judgment. Alright. Oh, it's fucking... Oh, laggy. Alright, we're getting a lot of lag there. Alright, we're probably gonna die here because of this, that's like I'm playing on very, very high settings for recording earlier. And, I'm paying for it now. Yep. That's okay, though. I, have to rerun this now. Fantastic. I really should lower my graphical settings, but at this point we're kind of committed. Maybe GM LMP for this scenario is better. Solely because of how it is. Getting hit with melee hurts, but not enough that you're really worried about it. If I wasn't lagging, it wouldn't be as big of an issue. Again, this is still my first time doing this fight with this build, so there's some room for error here, but not enough that I should have died to that. It's pretty much most range strategy. You cut it on the outside, that's the whole strat. You know, kill him last because he's easiest to kite. And then you just take your fucking sweet old time like this. Again, this is like a marathon type thing. Jump across, just take your time, and then it's relatively easy. And there you go. Yeah, if it's just that initial thing was difficult. And maybe it's also because the ramp up time on the Void battery is a little sketch when you don't have the highest crit chance in the world. That's something to be considered. Better flask and a larger health pool would be a better idea, I'd say, for doing Atziri with this. Just in general. Maybe using Assassin's Mark instead of Elemental Weakness for some of these fights to help with the fact that your pool, you know, if your critting isn't as good as it could be. This is not like a mirrored gear. This is not crazy gear. This is all affordable 2-3 weeks into a league gear. You know, and I would definitely say at the gate, this is not the best Atziri clearing build in general. You're better off going Incinerate, you're better off going Whirlwind, you're better Cyclone, Whirlwind, that's old school. You're better off going a lot of things. This is more just proof of you could do this at like 85 with like, you know, a couple Exalted worth of gear. Obviously my gear is not a couple Exalted, it's like Void battery is like 35 or whatever, 30. But you could do this with a shit Doriani's or rare, whatever. And it wouldn't be an issue. The issue here isn't the damage. The damage is overkill. I'm playing it even safer than normally. So that's not the issue. It's just, survivability is kind of sketch. Like I said, spec into more life, not spec into a whole lot of life. Cloak of Defiance builds are still a little weird. Again, you don't have Legacy Cloak, so it's even less transferable mitigation to mana. But overall, I'm feeling it. It's a saucy build. I think a better version might be the burning version with 3 dragons. That might be better. But we shall see. Let's give Atziri a whirl. Again, we're going in with no charges. I'm just going to keep the flasks. I'm going to hope to dodge everything. So if I get clipped, I get clipped. Okay, so that was a puncture that clipped me. I knew that was going to be a problem. Puncture in general. That really fucking hurt. Alright, I thought I knew this would be the easiest part for me. This feeding phase was not going to be an issue because it's just, I'm playing Freezing Pulse. It's a large arc, and it's crit. So it's this is actually the worst setup for feeding phases from every direction, and even then it's still relatively a joke. So. Oh, again, I got clipped there accidentally. I just popped that a little too early. I gotta walk here. I should be able to take her down pretty fucking fast. There you go. That'd be the way to do it, I think. If you come out of Feasing, pop Val Haste, pop Discipline. They're both level 1, so it's scenarios like this that are difficult where you're coming in. Alright, I should not be alive, I think. Let me just try to kite the Flame Blast away. Oh, alright, couldn't get out of time. But yeah, scenarios like that are difficult because you don't have the haste up, and that was just poorly dodged on my part yet again. I haven't played a Lightning Warp build in a little bit of time. But yeah, this should be, this is definitely doable. When you come into Atziri, this is for all Atziri, wait until your timer goes to about 2 seconds. Then make you move. Alright, I attacked the wrong one. Let's try to kite the Flame Blast away. Get some damage on. Normally every 5 seconds for Flame Blast. Oh. Well, I'm sad about that. I did not think I was going to be caught by that. And that's still a scenario where I would have survived if I had a Ruby. So that's a Ruby survival scenario. Wait a couple seconds. Go on the move. This is actually, it's even more difficult coming in hot, kind of, with Void Battery. Oof. That was sloppy. Oh my god. This is the sloppiest kill I've ever done in my life. Ugh. Yeah. Playing it like hyper safe even. Alright, well I have charged at least. I guess that's a positive. I feel like with Void Battery, it's either go double Void Battery or don't go Void Battery because of how it works. I think in this scenario, either a +3 staff, or Clutch of Hands, or Shiver, or just 2 Wands or Scepters would be preferable to the scenario at hand. That's just my opinion again. You know, being faster would help. I got no Val from that. Alright, so that was a lot cleaner. Now I've kind of gotten back into the hang of things here with that scenario. So that would be a better, that last phase was and that was just with a little bit of practice from the first 2 phases. You know, Lighting Warp more, and it's the damage you can keep up comparably. Also, coming into that phase, I had 7 power charges, so my damage was full on and not, you know, piddled down to what it was prior to the first two engagements. So that's an Atziri run, sloppily done, but we're experiencing it together for the first time with this build, and it was cleared. Still have 2 portals up, so overall I'd say it's a success. Things I would do: at least break 4K life. You know, either get a second void battery or just go double Doriani's catalyst or something similar, because it's not worth the fight of the uptime. Possibly also get a cast when damage taken enduring IQ setup, even though it's going to be phased out come 1.4. Maybe even just run manually. Even with 3 charges, it might still be worth it. So that about wraps that up. And again, questions, comments, anything like that, message me on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Tinder, LinkedIn. Any way you can get in contact with me. I'm at Lighty as always, and I'll catch you guys later.